Part of the thing of tattooing in Hollywood is that you never know who's going to walk through the door that day. You never know who's going to be on the other end of the phone when it rings. You know, the A-list clients, it's a little bit of a catch-22. I guess I could basically say I gave Angelina an orgasm. If you want to be different, don't get tattooed. And guess what? You are the freak. The whole point for me to get tattooed was because it put me on the outside of society. My name is Paul Timman. I have tattooed Tommy Lee, Pamela Anderson, Mark Wahlberg, Busta Rhymes, Drew Barrymore, guys from Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Buck Cherry, porn stars, sports stars, skateboarders, you name it. I've tattooed pretty much everybody and anybody under the sun. Part of the thing of tattooing in Hollywood is that you never know who's going to walk through the door that day. One of my first experiences tattooing some of the celebrities would be Angelina Jolie, and she was oddly enough just a walk-in. And I ended up doing a lower back tattoo on her, and apparently she was making noises, like she enjoyed it. She ended up going on Conan O'Brien later that week and talking about how she thoroughly enjoyed the experience. I guess I could basically say I gave Angelina an orgasm, so I'm probably one of the lucky guys on the planet. Ben Affleck's story was a good one. He came in on a Saturday morning. I said, what can I help you with? He wanted to do a cover-up. Where we did the tattoo, he was laying on a bench, and we're talking and doing the tattoo. I asked him what he does for a living, and he says, oh, I'm an actor and a writer, and I kind of joked around. I said, so what restaurant do you work at? He says, no, actually, oddly enough, things are going really well for me right now. And I said, well, have you done anything I would know? And he said, actually, I have this little project going right now. And I said, what's that called? He said, it just got released about 2 weeks ago. We're getting great reviews. I'm like, oh, what is it? And he said, it was Good Will Hunting. And then the other person that always stood out to me was Mark Wahlberg. He's pretty mellow. He's just like a regular guy. The TV show Entourage is sort of loosely based on him and his crew of buddies. And to be honest with you, after Entourage was on and years after I'd seen it, it all made sense to me, because at one point when I did tattoo him, his buddies were kind of trying to get a deal on the price and trying to set it all up and this and that. And we're like, look, if you guys are going to get tattooed, great. The price is set amount. If you want to get a deal, go somewhere else. That's not what we do here. We do good tattoos for a fair price. But when he came in, he sat down, was humble. It was all his entourage that was sort of loud and boisterous and obnoxious and trying to get a deal. He never wanted any of that. I think early on in my career, my mother was not very happy or very pleased that I chose tattooing as sort of my art career. But the first time I tattooed one of the celebrities was off of one of her soap operas. Now all of a sudden, she's bragging to her friends, she's bragging to her family. Well, my son tattoos Cricket from The Young and the Restless, and my son tattoos Tommy Lee. And so at that point, I think it kind of hit home with her. The A-list clients, it's a little bit of a catch-22, because they don't know where they're going to be in a month from now. They don't know what they're going to be doing in 2 weeks from now. A lot of times you want to get your homework done, you want to do drawings, you want to have the right thing, and they don't have that time. They're like, it's got to be today. Busta Rhymes walked in here one day and was like, hey man, I got 20 minutes before I got to be on set at this thing. And I started laughing. I go, there's nothing we can do in 20 minutes. Like, that. You've been tattooed here a bunch of times. So when I started getting tattooed, the lower forms of society were getting tattooed. There were some rock stars that had tattoos. But then this new wave of artists came into tattooing, either art school dropouts or art school graduates, and started changing the way tattoos looked. Tattooing has changed so much in the last 25 years that it is completely acceptable in society's eyes. But that doesn't mean it's acceptable in your boss's eyes, or a reporter's eyes, or a judge's eyes. Society is different than the individuals. Part of me liked the culture 25 years ago that the moms were afraid of me and my buddies walking down the street, or shop owners or business owners used to kind of watch you a little bit more, like you were going to steal something from them. I liked that about tattooing because it put me on the outside of society. Musicians definitely helped pave the way for people to start accepting tattoos, or for people to start getting more tattoos so that it's just thrown in your face and you don't have a choice but to accept it.